Julian Clegg.
Start your day with BBC Radio Solent.
Now, time to meet my next guest joining me in the studio, and this is the story of a dad from Portsmouth who's tried to help others like him dealing with the loss of a child through football. And I want to say hello to my guest joining me today, to Nick Lang and to Peter Mosley. Thank you both for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you, Julian.
Good morning. They've literally sat on the sofa as Suzanne went out. So, Nick, is that right? Good morning. Or Peter. Peter, let's go. That's Peter, good morning. And Nick, hello.
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
It was that quick, my brain couldn't cope. So, look, tell us a bit more. Nick, first of all, about your story and why you thought, let's play football.
Yeah, sure. So about 2.5 years ago, my wife and I, we had a stillborn daughter, Evelyn. And obviously a devastating time. Didn't really know how to deal with it. Literally thought we were the only people in the world that was going through that. We got pointed towards SANS.
And just to explain what SANS is.
So SANS is a charity that helps families like ourselves, people going through the bereavement of a lost child, but they also do a lot of work with bereavement care and midwives and stuff like that as well. And
and they made a big difference, didn't they, to you and what happened?
Yeah, absolutely. So they basically put us around people who understood what we were going through. We met a lot of people online through the social media, through Facebook groups and stuff like that, and kind of put us back on track, realising that we weren't the only ones going through it.
And when I've had conversations before on the show, it's mainly been mums, I'll be honest, who've come on. To have dads on is important. Do dads get forgotten a bit in all of this?
I think, to some extent, I think they do, because obviously you physically see the mum going through all of those things, and obviously women generally tend to be better with one another when dealing with emotional support and stuff like that. Sometimes men do find it difficult to reach out to either their peers or family members because you have to be seen to be that alpha male. So I think, that there is an element of that, and even online, on the Facebook groups, it's probably safe to say, Peter, isn't it, that there's about 95% of the mums on there, and that's probably where I received a lot of my support in the early days from other mums. Yeah.
Let's bring Peter in. Peter, lovely to see you, by the way. And tell me about your story, because this is more recent and equally tragic.
Yeah, so in January, my wife Sorrel gave birth to our son Arthur at 21 weeks. It was about 3 days after we'd had our 20-week scan, and we were told that everything was fine and that everything was going well.
And is this January last year?
Yeah, January 2018. Yeah. So it was a difficult thing. I knew straight away that we'd need something in the way of support. We were directed towards SANS as well, but it was quite difficult straight away with a group of people you didn't know to kind of open up about things. Yeah. So I think if there was a support network in terms of blokes at the time, it's traditionally a bit easier, isn't it? If you're talking to blokes who've been through something similar, and you've got the excuse of football to kind of go along with it as well. I imagine it'd be a bit easier to kind of open up. And I know certainly from meeting Nick, within sort of a minute of meeting each other, we were sharing our stories and quite literally crying on each other's shoulders as well. Yeah. So and that was just from going through that shared experience together. There was kind of a natural bond there, I think.
And football, you want to create a football team. Is the football team up and running, or is it a plan? Just to get that in my head.
It's kind of more than a plan. So we're quite far into it now. So we've got 38 dads interested. We've got our first meeting tomorrow at the Alec Rose in Port Solent, and that's an opportunity for some of the dads to meet one another, to be comfortable with one another. So we're quite far down the line. We've got a few companies interested in sponsoring the shirts.
Good. You're doing well if you've got that far.
Yeah, and we're still trying to find somewhere, obviously, to train and to play, and hopefully with local support we can, have some help with that kind of stuff.
Might be somebody listening this morning is going, they can come and play where we are. What are you looking for then exactly?
So we're going to be 11-a-side Sunday league team. So, we just need somewhere, obviously, because we're fortunate and unfortunate in the same sense, in that we can't just pick any player, because everybody on the team will come from the lost community, so whether they're dad, brother, uncle, granddad, cousin, so we are limited to the pool of players that can play for us. Right. So that spans anywhere from, we've got some dads in Southampton right through to Fareham, Portsmouth, Chichester, we've got one
big area.
Absolutely,
this is the Radio Solent area.
Yeah, so absolutely, it is. Yeah, so we are looking for somewhere local and central for everyone has access to.
Right, Peter. You said that you would, as soon as you met, you knew you had the bond and you started talking. What are the kind of things that you're sharing with each other about this? Is it just about loss or about something broader?
I think, well, I certainly, myself and Nick found we had quite a lot in common outside of that, and then certainly the shared love of sport is a big factor as well. I think what we're keen to get across is that there is no pressure on anybody joining the team to open up straight away, but it's a supportive network that's there if people need it. We know there's that kind of stigma around mental health, and particularly men's mental health, so there's certainly no pressure on our side to come along and start sharing straight away. But I was surprised how easy it was to open up to people that have been through the same sort of thing, because certainly in the aftermath you think yourself and your wife are the only people that truly understand what's going on and the only people that have been going through it, and of course you can't always be putting that upon one another, particularly when you're going through perhaps slightly different emotions.
Because that's the thing, is otherwise you feel are overburdening your partner with the problem.
Absolutely.
When they're going through the problem as well.
And I think there's certainly that kind of pressure on the man to be the strong one and to be the one that is kind of the rock for your wife. So to have a potential network elsewhere to unburden, and as I say, under the guise of sport, where you're quite literally exercising that grief in a positive way, I think could be powerful.
And it says here the aim is to enter a team into the league next season. No pressure.
Yeah. We're certainly not going to be competitive, I don't think. So
will you let me know how you get on?
Yes, certainly. Yeah.
Now look, if people want to get in touch, how do they do that?
So we've got the Facebook page. They can visit us there on Sands United FC Solent, or they can drop us an email, which is sandsunitedfcsolent@gmail.com. And we're trying to get the message out there, looking for anybody who thinks they might want to join, even if they can't play on a full-time basis. We know people have got commitments, but just involved. Be part of it. Absolutely, yeah.
You can search Sounds online, by the way, if you didn't get all those details. And here's a thought to leave you with: 3,000 babies are still born in England every year, which is quite a thought, isn't it? There's lots of mums and dads out there going through this. Thank you to you two. You're great. You're brilliant. You're inspirational. I mean that. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Lovely to see you. So isn't that lovely? And a rather different take on that as well. Nick and Peter, Nick Lang and Peter Mosley joining us this morning. Thank you very much indeed, guys. 13 minutes to 8 on BBC Radio Solent. Let's get the traffic and travel.
BBC Radio Solent.
Travel.